Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Arsenal 2, Lyon nil. Arsenal win the Emirates Cup. Two very good wins this week against Leverkusen and Lyon. Two good teams in their leagues in Germany and Lyon. Two very, very good teams. So we've managed to beat them. And today, Set Piece FC is back. And today as well, Clean Sheet FC is back. So absolutely happy with that. Absolutely happy with how we played today, especially in the first half. Second half a bit more quiet, but first half we were really, really good. Like in that first half, we were absolutely destroying them. Yes, two of our goals came from set pieces, but in terms of how we played and in terms of how we are completely destroying them, like they couldn't even get like a touch on the ball at all in that first half. We were absolutely dominating them. The whole squad was playing well, especially the midfield. Rice and Odegaard, they were absolutely incredible in that midfield. Once again, Zinchenko looking great going forward. Saka is back in the lineup. I've seen people talking about Martinelli a lot. We'll talk about Martinelli. He was definitely lively. I know Martinelli missed a couple of opportunities, but he was very, very lively in terms of you'd never really watch a game and say you didn't see Martinelli. No, like he was very, very lively, and I loved a bit of the defensive work. But today, a lot of things stood out, and mostly it was the pressing and the way we're just dominating the entire game. Like it's incredible. Like the other team cannot even get an opportunity to shoot the ball up until the second half, pretty much. So if we really want, we can, especially at the Emirates Stadium, we can destroy a lot of the teams in the first half. Like we can get those games done 2-0, 3-0 in the first half. Like we're absolutely incredible the way we press, the way we just create chance after chance after chance, especially in the first 20 minutes. Like if you watch Arsenal in the first like 10 minutes of the game, the way we press the opponent so hard, by the time we hit like what minute? Like by the 10th minute, Arsenal already have like 5 corners because we've pressed the opponent so hard. Like we've kept on like hitting them on the break, everything like absolutely incredible. So that first half was great. And yeah, we'll discuss that. Let me know what you made of the game. Let me know what you made of the second half. Which players impressed you the most? Which players disappointed you the most? And we didn't get to see Pap Timber. He will be back this week. We are hearing he will be back this week. So he will be available for Wolves next week. Vieira is also injured again, so hopefully we'll be back by next week. And who else is out? Tomiyasu is still injured, so hopefully he'll be back in the next couple of weeks as well. And then for transfers, let's wait and see what happens this particular week. So let's get to it. Let me know what you guys made of the game. Let's get started with the team that played today. Here we go. So this is the Arsenal lineup from today. We went to Dreyer in goal. We went with Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, and Bainat at the back. So the team that has started this game, the last game before the season starts, is probably the team that is going to start the Premier League game next week. Unless I wouldn't actually expect any changes, unless he decides to remove Zinchenko and play Timber Calafiori, I don't think so. I actually do think Zinchenko is going to start the first game. So that is the defense. The midfield, we had Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. And then up front, you had Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka. Saka is back in the starting 11. And then on the bench, Ramsdale, Setford, Calafiori, Kivio, Heaven, Nichols, Lewis Kelly, Jorginho, Trossard, Nwaneri, Jesus, Ketia, and also Nelson. So a couple of those players we're expecting to be leaving very, very soon. So we're not going to be seeing them on the bench for too much longer. So Havertz was back up front today. To be honest, the preseason so far, Havertz has actually looked quite good in midfield. Surprisingly, I saw some people saying, "Oh my goodness, Havertz is looking good in midfield." That it is going to play him there every single game. He did look good in midfield next to Trossard on the left side. But today, I wanted Havertz up front. I wanted Jesus to come off the bench as I had in my predicted lineup. Actually, we can check my preferred lineup what I did the other day. So this is what the lineup that I wanted. So yeah, I think I just started with the exact same lineup. I really wanted to see Martinelli starting in this game because of one or two reasons, because he has not been like on great form and I want him to be like up to par by the time we start the season. That's the main reason I wanted Martinelli to start, to get up to speed. He started today. Trossard was on the bench. I think Trossard is going to start next week, the Premier League game. I think Zinchenko is going to start as well, the Premier League game next week. But hey, let's talk about that first half. That first half was really, really good. Like the way we play football these days. I know, listen, supporting us all through the Wenger days, even the Emery days, the time we won 20 plus games unbeaten, the way we play football is incredible, especially the Wenger days. It was sweet, man. Like watching Flamini and Fabregas and Rosicki and Kleb. Those days, football was really good. But these days, the fact that we don't even concede any chances, like we play some really good football from Raya to the midfield, the defense, Gabriel and Saliba. Even Gabriel today, if you watch that game and just focus on Gabriel, there's like 3 or 4 passes that he puts, and I was like, my goodness, he's playing like Odegaard, like those passes to split the midfield, like from defense all the way to Saka. Those balls, absolutely incredible, man. Gabriel as well. But the first 2 minutes of the game, Martinelli created a chance. A lot of what you saw in that first half in the last all over the place. What we saw in the first 10 minutes of that game, a lot of Saka's runs in behind on that right side, and then Martinelli and Zinchenko putting in those crosses. Saka actually had a couple of chances to head the ball. One of them was saved. One of them went off target, but it's great. Usually it's Saka doing that from the other side, running with the ball, turning to his left foot and crossing the ball to Trossard and Martinelli and those guys. Today it was the opposite. Saka was getting those crosses. So hopefully we see more of that next season. A lot of different tactics. Let's not just use like one side. Let's use 2 or 3 sides, both sides plus the midfield as well. Like we are strong in all of those positions. Let's use all of them. And then obviously back to set pieces. Our first goal came from a set piece. Once again, it came from us pressing them to death, and then they considered a corner from it. And then Declan Rice, he had just put in another cross before that. We had like 4 corners by that time. That cross that Declan Rice put in for William Saliba, absolutely incredible. Saliba made it 1-0 to Arsenal. That's the wrong one. This is the correct one. Saliba made it 1-0 to Arsenal at that point. That's Rice cross, man. I think anyone in that position would probably score because of how good that cross was from Declan Rice. Absolutely incredible. And it's great to see that it was not just 1 or 2 seasons where we are good in set pieces. No, it's actually another season where I've once again, and you're scoring 2 set pieces in one game. Fantastic. And Declan Rice is very, very good at that. I'd like to see the same from Trossard and Martinelli in terms of those crosses. We need to see more from them in terms of accurate crosses. Trossard was very good when he came to Arsenal with the assist, but Declan Rice is definitely our set piece taker. That cross for this goal was immense, and Saliba made it 1-0 within 8 minutes of the game. Things you'll have to see back on the score sheet. Saliba is definitely going to be crucial for us this season. If you're going to achieve something this season, Saliba and Gabriel, once again, fantastic. That's why when I look at Gabriel and Saliba, everyone agrees Gabriel and Saliba are the best defensive partnership in the league. I don't even think opposition fans don't agree with that. So when I look at Gabriel playing today, and then I remember people saying, yeah, let's just play Timber and Calafiori, drop Gabriel. I don't think you can drop Gabriel from that team. The others can rotate, but Gabriel and Saliba, you cannot kill that partnership. Like, it's not just in terms of defense. Every time we get a corner or free kick, Gabriel is like, maybe you don't even need a strike when you have Gabriel there. Maybe you should try Gabriel as a striker, because if you put in those crosses, he's always at the end of it. They have a good connection, both of them, and it's like Rice knows exactly where they're going to be, and all of them expect the ball from Rice. And fantastic, man, Gabriel and Saliba, both of them. Literally a minute later, just like the Leverkusen game, we were about to score the second goal of that game. Martinelli had a chance. So Martinelli got the ball. I think it was Odegaard pressing and then gave the ball to Martinelli. And then Martinelli tried to pass the ball to Declan Rice, and then it went out for a goal kick, if you watch that game and you remember that. Now, in that situation, I need Martinelli to be more take charge. Just cut back to your right foot and shoot the ball. You don't have to look for Declan Rice on the left wing or whatever. Just turn to your right foot and shoot the ball. So Martinelli is a very good player. I've seen people saying, yeah, listen, is not the answer. We're not going to win the league with Martinelli. I don't agree with that. Maybe you can say, fine, Trossard will start ahead of him. Absolutely fine. For me, I don't really mind. Trossard is the one who's better right now, obviously, so I will start Trossard next week against Wolves. But whoever plays, like if Martinelli comes on, I'm not like, oh, Martinelli, where is he coming on now? Like, nowhere near that. He gets himself into very good positions. Like in that first 20 minutes, I saw Martinelli coming back and defending and getting the ball from the attacker and, pressing well and winning the ball back and making good runs in behind. He made like 3 very good runs in behind for Havertz and for Odegaard 2 or 3 times in that game. Like very good runs in behind, and the pace, very good. But the decision-making in the final third over the last 8 months has not been great for Martinelli. Martinelli from 22-23 season, he was taking those chances very easily. Even last season at the beginning part, remember his goal against Sevilla when he went through one-on-one? I usually expect Martinelli to score that, but the last 8 months, decision-making. But today it was a mixture. I don't agree like it was completely terrible, like drop Martinelli and never play him again. I don't agree with that. Like the cross he had for Saka in the first half was really good. I need him to also improve in the terms of assists. Last season, I predicted Martinelli to have the most assists for Arsenal. I think he had like 2 or something, so that was not a great prediction at all. This one, I need to see more of that from him. But in terms of everything else, he did very well. But for example, in that situation, Martinelli should have cut back to his right foot and shoot the ball. You don't have to look for a pass in that situation. Just take charge and shoot the ball. If Trossard was in that situation, he probably shoots that ball and doesn't pass it. So we look at what happens later. Even if it gets blocked, that's fine. If the goalkeeper saves it, that's fine. If it goes off target, that is absolutely fine. Just shoot the ball. Martinelli, don't try to look for a pass in that situation. Especially, it was very open. Like if he just got on his right foot, he would have scored that. But the rest of the first half, he was great. But we'll come back to another thing that he did in that first half. We had another header cleared off the line from another corner kick. Once again, the corners incredible from Declan Rice, Saka as well, and Odegaard. Those crosses are really, really good. Zinchenko was another one. Zinchenko was very good once again today. Defensively, you know, Zinchenko is not the best player, obviously. Probably, though I don't like using the word worst, but yeah, in terms of compared to all the rest of our defenders, Zinchenko is probably the one who you'd put bottom in terms of defending. But in terms of ball playing, Zinchenko is not a bad player. That's why I've always told you guys, you take a lot of convincing to convince me that Zinchenko is a bad player. He's not a great defender. I know that. But in terms of, just sell Zinchenko today, I don't agree with that. I might as well play him in midfield. I want to see him in midfield. I think he will start next week at left back, but obviously you don't play Zinchenko against Salah or Foden. He's going to get destroyed. We know that. Probably the plan last season was to play Timber in those games, but Timber was injured, Tomiyasu is injured, and you were forced to play Zinchenko against Salah and against Foden and those guys. In those situations, he's going to get destroyed. We know that. He's not going to keep his position. He's going to play players onside. We know that. But in terms of when you give him the ball in those midfield areas, he was putting in some really good crosses for Saka. The passes in behind, the passes in between the lines, like when he has the ball in that midfield and there's like two midfielders in front of him and then Odegaard is on the other side, he usually picks up that pass and he opens up the game very, very well. And his combination as well with Havertz, the last game when Havertz was playing in midfield, and today with Declan Rice as well, there's a lot of connection there. And then another thing that Zinchenko is not afraid of doing is trying those difficult passes. I see Odegaard trying it for us, also Bruno Fernandes for United, like those difficult passes, just try it, because if it works, it splits open the defense. And he tried that like 3 or 4 times. A couple of times it went out. Declan Rice didn't get to it. Ours didn't get to it, but he was really good in that first half. And the pressing as well is really, really, really good. Declan Rice again in that first half, he was phenomenal once again. The shots, I don't care what Declan Rice did for England. You know, when people say Declan Rice was terrible for England, he cannot play in midfield. I don't care what Declan Rice does for England. I'm not an England fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. Declan Rice for Arsenal, like today, incredible in that first half. He was dominating everything. There's a time Declan Rice had a shot, and then I think he was trying an assist, and then the opponents won the ball back. And then Declan Rice, the tackle he made in the opposition box, he made a tackle in the opposition box and won the ball back for us. Like, this guy is incredible. In terms of those interceptions and tackles, he is very good. Like, Declan Rice is definitely going to be the part of the team that is going to win the league. He's definitely going to be there. Like, if Declan Rice is not there, we're definitely going to miss him. Now, hopefully we do add Merino this week so that Declan Rice doesn't have to play every single game, because over the last 1 year, he's played like almost every single game for England and Arsenal. We want him to have a rest. And the second goal came in the 26th minute. Before that, though, there's another Martinelli involvement in the game again. There's Odegaard got the ball in the number 10 area, and then the through pass to Martinelli. Odegaard, my goodness, man. Like, I'm just tired of talking about Odegaard. There's a through pass he put for Martinelli. Martinelli was through one-on-one. Now, in that situation, the first one, I said Martinelli should have cut to his right foot and shot the ball. That one, I didn't like the decision-making from Martinelli. In that one, yes, the pace, he went past the defender. I wouldn't say composure or anything, because he didn't really get the shot off. The defender was just stronger than him, and he bullied him, and Martinelli dropped to the floor. I don't know what I would say about that situation. If you saw that chance from Martinelli, let me know what you would have preferred Martinelli to do, because he went through one-on-one. The defender was right behind him, and the defender basically body checked him, and he went down to the ground. I wouldn't say quicker. If that is the pace that he had in that situation, I can't say you need to be quicker. But yeah, Martinelli in that situation, you'd expect him to go and at least have a shot. But in that situation, I don't blame him at all. It was just only that one situation where he didn't cut back to his right foot and shoot the ball. But in that one, I look at the run. He made a very, very good run for Odegaard to make that pass. And later on, literally like 6 minutes later, he also made another very good run from, I think it was Havertz. Like, I'm confusing the two. There's a time that Havertz put the through ball for Martinelli. I think that is the one that Martinelli went through one-on-one and dropped. I think it was the Havertz pass. There's another Odegaard one. I think Martinelli didn't have a shot or something. One of them. But Martinelli went through like 3 times one-on-one today in that first half. He was making some really good runs, and Odegaard and Havertz and Zinchenko were all picking him out very, very well. We got another corner. Once again, Declan Rice, absolutely phenomenal cross once again. And this time it was Gabriel with the goal to make it 2-0. Set piece FC is very, very back, man. Like 2 set pieces in a game. Reminds me of the Crystal Palace game. Reminds me of West Ham last season. Phenomenal once again, Declan Rice with those crosses. I think if we don't have those crosses, we don't score those goals. I think those goals definitely come from the crosses from Declan Rice. Very, very good crosses. Literally, you just need to put your head there. Like those crosses, you don't even need to head the ball. You just need to put the head there, and it's a goal. And Gabriel, once again, fantastic with the goal. Right place, right time. Bullies the rest of the guys marking him to make it 2-0. Now, people would say, yeah, we scored 2 goals, but we only scored from set pieces. We didn't score from open goal. I would like us to score open goals as well. But set piece goals are goals as well. So I don't agree. People saying, why did we only score set pieces? There's a reason no other team does it like us. Like we score 2 goals, 3 goals per game from set pieces. We've trained for it. We've trained for it. The likes of Gabriel know where to be. And then every time you watch an Arsenal corner, it's different. Like sometimes someone puts his hand up and then Declan Rice goes to the far post. Sometimes it goes to the near post, someone heads it back and then someone else is standing there. Sometimes Zinchenko is waiting in the basically in the edge of the box. Sometimes it's 2 players going forward. Sometimes it's 2 players going back and waiting for the cross. Sometimes it's Ben White, standing next to the goalkeeper. Today, did I see Ben White? Yeah, there he is. Look at Ben White next to the goalkeeper. He's always there. Look at that guy. I didn't see him a lot trying to bully the goalkeeper today, but let me see the first one as well. Yeah, the first one, Ben White is not near the goalkeeper, I don't think so. Yeah, so the second one, he was there, but the first one, I can't see him next to the goalkeeper. But yeah, that's another tactic that we used. Ben White standing next to the goalkeeper, all that it usually works. So set pieces, there are goals as well. And it's great to see that we are still scoring from those set pieces. It was not just like one season where we were lucky and teams have found us out. Let's see, when you start playing the Premier League games, if you're still going to start scoring those set pieces of the Premier League teams have worked us out. I don't think so. But the first half, in terms of the way we were playing that first half, fantastic. The players who stood out for me, Declan Rice for sure. Those 2 assists from him, the pressing, the tackles. He created a couple of other chances. He was making some really good runs on the left side. Declan Rice really stood out for me. Odegaard, once again, he didn't score, he didn't assist, but if you watch that game, you'll just smile every time Odegaard has the ball, every time he makes a run. He just controls everything. Like Zinchenko tries to look for Odegaard, Partey tries to look for Odegaard, Declan Rice tries to look for Odegaard because he just controls everything and is absolutely phenomenal throughout that first half once again. He created a couple of more chances once again. Last season, Odegaard created more than 100 chances, and he had something like 10 assists or something. So meaning like 90 chances that he created were not scored. So this season, if he can create the same amount of chances again, and this time, hopefully, we do have a striker and a couple of Martinelli on form and Trossard on form from the start of the season and have us on form from the start of the season. Hopefully, they can take his chances because Odegaard is going to create 2 or 3 chances per game. We just need to take it because even today, we only scored 2 goals. But if Martinelli was on form today, he would have had 2 goals himself. So it would have been 4-0 in that first half. So yes, I wanted us to get a striker, but what we also need to know is those chances are not all going to drop to the striker. Some of them are still going to drop to Martinelli. Yes, let's get Gyökeres. I'm 100% sure I want us to get Gyökeres, but not all those chances are going to drop to Gyökeres. So you need Gyökeres and another 10 players on the pitch at the same time. So we still need Martinelli to be on form because if Trossard is not there for any reason, Martinelli is the one who's going to play, so we need him to, get to form. The rest of the players, Gabriel, Saliba, fantastic in that first half. Gabriel, not even just in terms of the goal, we kept another clean sheet, and Gabriel's passing was very, very good today. Zinchenko, happy to announce 2 great performances from Zinchenko in a row. Ben White, always comfortable, nothing really to talk about. Ben White is just always there, never does anything wrong. He defends well, he bullies the goalkeeper well, just does everything great. Partey was good today. Partey was very good in that midfield today. Hopefully stays fit. Same applies to Jesus. He came on the second half, but we'll get to the second half. But first half, really, really good. That was like a 9 out of 10 performance in that first half. Apart from the situations where Martinelli didn't have a shot. I think that was it. Saka also had a couple of headers. One of them was saved. Maybe the other one should have got it on target. But we did create chances. We created like 6 openings, 2 or 3 for Martinelli, 2 for Saka, and which was the other one? Rice had a shot that was saved as well. We could have easily had like 4 or 5 million in that first half. So at the Emirates, hopefully we keep on starting games like this next season and we can, dismantle teams in the first 30 minutes. And then after that, we see what you can do. But if we play like that and we take our chances, if we add 2 players to this team, this Arsenal team, it will still finish ahead of everyone else apart from Man City, this particular Arsenal team. But if you add a couple of other players, I don't even think like we would have games where we have like 5 games in a row where you don't consider shot. Like we are that good in terms of defensively, we are that good. And we are still going to add Calafiori to that team and Timber to that team and Tomias to that team. Defensively, you're very good. Like even when you play Man City and Liverpool, I'd be like, they're maybe not going to score more than 1 goal in this game. So we just need to work on taking our chances. If we have a striker and we have Martinelli, a confident Martinelli, and we have a confident Saka and we have a confident Havertz, we can literally be scoring 5 or 6 goals every single game. Because we do create chances these days a lot of time. We are good from set pieces. We use the left side, the right side as well. And if Zinchenko keeps on playing like this, we might score 6 or 7 goals every single game. So it's great to see. So at halftime, we didn't really make any subs. We didn't make any subs, right? So I think Zinchenko and Rice were the first one to come off, and then Calafiori and Jesus came on. So we finally seen Calafiori's debut at Arsenal. It's tough to rate the players who came on the last 20-25 minutes. It was a bit quiet in the second half, just like the Leverkusen game. It was a bit quiet, so we didn't really see a lot of Jesus or a lot of Trossard or a lot of Nwaneri. They're only on for like 15 minutes. Jorginho, though, there's a chance that Lyon got, and Jorginho tried to dive in and he missed the ball, and then they were in 1-on-1. I don't think Jorginho should be diving in that situation. He should be having more experience in terms of that. Just stay with the run if you can't get the ball. But he tried to tackle. But if you're making a mistake, make it in preseason. Don't do that again in the season. But they got a 1-on-1 chance, and Raya made a very good save. So they won a corner from that, and that is basically it in the second half. Nothing much happened. We brought in. So in terms of subs, Zinchenko went off. Calafiori came on that left side. Jesus came on for Rice. Then Havertz came back to midfield, and then Jesus went up front. And then we brought in Jorginho for Partey, Trossard for Martinelli, Nelson for Saka on the right side, Kivio for Gabriel at centre back, Lewis Kelly for Saliba, and Nwaneri for Kai Havertz. So at the end of the game, our squad was actually Lewis Kelly at left back, Calafiori and Kivio at centre back. So he did see Calafiori at centre back a bit. And then we had, who was at right back? Ben White. Ben White is not subbed off today. So Ben White was at right back. And then in midfield, we had Jorginho, we had Nwaneri, and we had, who else? I can't even remember. I don't remember. Havertz went off. I don't even remember. We made those changes in the second half. Very tough to rate the players in the second half. But in terms of the first half, really, really special performance. We need to be starting games like that. I remember 2 seasons ago, we were doing that every single game. Last season, from January to the end of the season, we were starting games against Sheffield and Burnley and Newcastle and dismantling them in the first 10 minutes. That is what we need to do. But this team is very, very good. If we get our injured players back, right now, all of a sudden, we have, once again, like 4 injured players. Unfortunately, Tomiyasu, Timber, Vieira, and Jesus went down. I was so scared. I saw Jesus down again getting treated. I was like, God, please, no, not again, not before the season starts, man. Luckily, he got back up, and I saw him a couple of times getting on the ball, so it's good. I think Havertz starts next week. I think Trossard starts next week, and I think Zinchenko will start next week again. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Before I come to the player ratings, let me see what you guys are saying. Morgan says, "I'm so worried." Let me just put this so you can see it. There you go. I'm so worried. We have just a few days to start the season in our front line and not scoring. Please, Glenn, what do we do at this point? We wait. So I saw Edu said something today. So Edu was asked something about the transfer window, and he said, "You're going to be happy. Just be patient." That is what he said. Hopefully that translates to Merino and Gyökeres are coming in. Just relax. That's what he said. That is what he said today. Edu, relax. We are we are working on things. It's going to be exciting. Just be patient. That is what Edu said. So I think Merino is going to be an Arsenal player before the season starts. But in terms of a striker, I think this is the team that is going to start the game next week. Listen, I don't have a problem with that. I would have preferred us to make all the signings before the season started, obviously. But I mean, this team should be able to win the next week's game. Let's be honest. That team should be able to win next week's game. Like even like Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka there with Rice and Odegaard and Partey, and then Trossard probably starts next week. Jesus is there. We should be able to beat Wolves. It's not because we don't have Gyökeres next week. You're not going to be able to beat Wolves. You should be able to score 3 or 4 goals next week either way with that team. The worry is, can we do that every single game throughout the season? That is why you need a couple of other options in the team. Hopefully, the transfer window ends on 31st. We are playing Wolves and Aston Villa first. So hopefully by the time we play Aston Villa, we have all those players in the team already. Let's see. Consider says congratulations to Arsenal. We're on fire, says Jamal. How are you doing, RK? Calafiori makes his debut finally. Katumo. Arsenal for life, says Yusuf. It's a promising team, says Mubarak. One says so many changes, but striker cannot score. Luckily, Saliba and Gabriel, world class. They're very good, those two players. Nketiah is going to be sold. If injured, no team wants to buy him. Oh, I get what you mean. You mean like we shouldn't have brought in Nelson and did Nketiah come on? Nketiah did not come on, did he? I mean, I missed like 2 minutes of that game, but I don't think Nketiah come on. But I get what you mean. Like Nketiah, Nelson definitely came on. So yeah, they are still going to be sold. I think that is the last time we've seen Nelson. I don't know, man. Nelson could still be here next week. It depends. Nketiah is going to move to Marseille, but for Nelson, I don't know. There's no team that is currently talking to him right now. Paul says Arsenal must sign a striker, otherwise we shall face fire in tight games. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Those tight games, that is why you need those kind of players. Things like set pieces and all that are really helpful. That is why when people say why we're only scoring from set pieces, those tight games where you're unable to open up an opponent, those set pieces and having a strike and those kind of different things will really help you. We surely need a striker. The boys are doing good things. You'll have to see are happening now, says Joshua. Let's do a couple. The boys played well. They were looking sharper. Zini doesn't want to surrender his position, says Benjamin. Yeah, it's like Zinchenko seen Calafiori and Timber in the team, and he was like, nah, you're not taking my position. Martinelli was great. Gabriel is giving good passes to Partey. Partey standing tall in the mid-level and is looking good. Yeah, Gabriel's passing was really good as well. Like, I could not believe my eyes. Like, it's not just the scoring and the defending. The passing as well is very good. Like, they're so comfortable in the ball and they trust each other. Like, Raya can give the ball to Gabriel, to Saliba, and they're all going to be very comfortable like giving the ball to each other because they know they're going to, it's going to do something correctly. We still need more attacking midfield after Marine and wing and striker, please, says Tanslers. 1, 2, that's like 4 players. We're not going to sign 4 players. I think we're only going to sign 2 players. So the winger one, I'm worried about the winger one. Unless we get surprised and we sign 3 players, I don't know. But we're not going to sign an attacking midfielder and Merino. Merino comes in, I think that is the last midfielder. Let's see. We really need a striker against some tight games. Say Shaka. Let's take a couple more. Partey looks sharp today. So calm and composed when he controls the round object, says Musa. Yeah, if he can stay fit, then we will never talk about the midfield again because he's so good in that midfield. Dan says it was 2 different games. The first half we looked like lions, and the second half we looked like cats. Job done, I guess. Some games during the season, for example, if you have like 4-0 in the first half, you don't have to go and score 10 goals. Obviously, especially if you have, let's say you have a Barcelona on Tuesday and you're playing against Chelsea on Saturday and you score 4-0. Obviously, you can't just keep on going and try and score 10. You have to like take the foot off the pedal. But you can only take the foot off the pedal after you're like 3 goals up. Sometimes we kind of do it when you're 1 goal up. Like that first half, like we scored our first goal in the 8th minute and then the second goal in the 26th minute. So between the 8th minute and the 26th minute, we were battering them. Like we were creating chance. Martinelli was getting in behind. Saka was getting chances. Like Lyon were nowhere to be seen. Like they couldn't get on the ball. but something can happen there. Lyon can just run in behind and you give away a penalty, and boom, it's 1-1, and you've had like 90% possession and 6 through passes and 7 corners, and Lyon have not done anything. You need to get a second and a third goal, and then after that, that is where you can be comfortable. Definitely, Arsenal is a striker to compete with Man City, says Joseph. Yeah, Man City in the Champions League is my worry. If Man City are not in the Premier League, I don't even think Arsenal need to sign a player. That is how confident I am in this team. If Man City are not in this league, we probably win the league with these players that we have right now, without signing anyone, even minus Marino and minus Calafiori. But to compete with Man City and to compete with Real Madrid and Mbappe and Vinicius and those guys in the same team, we need to add to our team as well. We need a striker to help Jesus, says Joseph. Philip says, is Lyon tougher than Leverkusen? No, I wouldn't say so. They do have good players, but Leverkusen is a better team. Leverkusen probably played more attacking, and then we just took our chances the other day as well. Thank you for the super chat, Ake. She says, I'm buzzing, and thanks for this great live stream. Glenn, thank you very much, Ake. Thank you for supporting the channel. Morgan says, Nketiah never played in this game. Yeah, he never played. I was wondering. One said Nketiah is still in the team. I guess he meant me, Nelson. Nelson played and he will be sold. Nketiah, I think that is the game that you watched against Leverkusen, that is the last time you're seeing Nketiah as an Arsenal player. Morgan says, great work, Glenn. Can you compare Arsenal's performance with Arsenal performance without a T? What do you mean by that, Morgan? Let me know what you mean by that. Let me go to the player ratings. Let's do the player ratings, and then I'll come to the rest of your comments. So let's go. So player ratings, David Raya, I'm going to give him an 8. He kept a clean sheet. He was comfortable in terms of collecting the ball, and then he made a very good save in the second half, one-on-one against the striker or the midfielder, wherever it was. Good save. So he didn't have a lot to do in this game, but the fact that he was attentive the moment the other opposition got the chance. Great to see. Raya gets an 8 out of 10. Center backs, Gabriel, 9 out of 10, man. Even without a goal, I'd probably be giving him around this, because the performance was just fantastic. As I said, the passes from in behind, his connection with Saliba, the runs he was making, and then on top of that, he scored a goal as well. Fantastic. This is not just a guy you just drop, as people are suggesting. Just drop Gabriel and play Timber and Saliba, or play Calafiori. Saliba, you don't drop Gabriel. If you have to play Timber or Calafiori, you play them at left back. But in terms of Gabriel and Saliba, you have to play them. Now, listen, Man City do rotate their defenders a lot. Sometimes you see Diaz, sometimes you see Stones, sometimes Akanji, sometimes you see Ake. Maybe you can do that, but obviously Saliba is not going to be dropped, really. Out of the 38 games, Gabriel should play like 31 of them. So the rest of the others, maybe you can get rotated. But Gabriel gives us so much, man. Like, if you don't have Gabriel there, even those set pieces that we get in the opposition box, Gabriel is such a threat. Like, every time, if you watch the other teams when they're about to play us and you listen to their fans, they're usually like, oh, let's worry about the corners as well. When Arsenal put in a cross, Gabriel is there. They know. So Gabriel, 9 out of 10. I'm going to give Saliba the same as well. Very, very composed as well. He never makes any errors at all. Very comfortable. He scored the opening goal of the game. Nice to have him back. I actually didn't think Saliba and a couple of other players would be back this early, because a team like Chelsea, Palmer has not started playing for them yet. I think he's on the bench today. They're losing again, by the way, as always. There's a couple of players who haven't really, been back to their teams. But Saliba, right away, back again, 2 games played, straight down to business. He wants to win the league. Fantastic. 9 out of 10 for Saliba today. Both of them scored a goal, so fantastic. They get an extra mark. Zinchenko, 8 out of 10. Didn't really make any errors today. There's only one time that a player ran in behind him, and I think it was offside eventually. But it was fantastic. The passes, the crossing today for Saka and for Havertz, it was really, really good from Zinchenko. Didn't make any errors at all. There's a time we lost the ball in midfield, and Zinchenko and Martinelli came back so quickly, and they surrounded the player and they got the ball away from him. Love that. You just bully the opponents, suffocate the opponents. Don't let them have any chances at all. Zinchenko, 8 out of 10 for today. Ben White, usual beast performance. Doesn't really make. White will not shine. Sometimes he will. Recently, like when he goes forward and puts in crosses, sometimes he has 2 assists in the game. But today, doesn't really need to go forward. He's just cool and composed at the back. You're not really going to see him a lot, but he does his job. 8 out of 10. Ben White. fantastic defender for sure. Again, Ben White is another player people have been talking about getting dropped, like play Timber and drop Ben White. It's not as easy as that. You can rotate them, but not just Timber plays 35 games and Ben White is on the bench now. No, you can rotate them, different games, whichever tactic that game requires. You can play Ben White. 8 out of 10 for Benny Blanco. Midfield, Thomas Partey, really good today. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Those are the sort of performances we need from Thomas Partey. There's a game, I think it was this particular game where we were wearing this shirt. He was not... He was speaking of shirts, by the way, our third kit is coming out tomorrow on Monday. But Partey was really good. Partey was really good in that midfield today. Fantastic. There's one game in prison where you struggled a bit, but today that was. But the one thing I don't like about Partey these days, it's not. I don't think he's the one who wants to do that. No, not really. But in terms of like when you lose the ball and someone gets past Partey, he does not have the speed to cover back. So that is a problem. You see the way Declan Rice can run and catch up with the player who's past him. Partey doesn't really have the pace these days to catch up with the player. So he really needs to keep his position. And if someone gets past him, Saliba and Gabriel need to cover for him very, very quickly. Because if Partey's, let's say, in the Odegaard position, then someone gets past him, that midfield is open. There's a couple of goals this year that we've considered like that. But if he keeps his position like today and he just does everything and the opponent doesn't get the ball, yeah, he's so comfortable in that midfield. He gets the ball away from them very easily. His passing is great as well. He gives an option to Gabriel and Saliba, which is fantastic. So today, Partey, 8 out of 10. Oh, Declan Rice, man, 9 out of 10. Declan Rice, I still see people saying Declan Rice, we overpaid for him. What these people? Did these people watch football, man? I don't care what Declan Rice did for England. I don't care if he gave away a corner for England. That's not Arsenal. At Arsenal, he is very, very comfortable. He wins the ball back for us so many times. He's our set-piece king with the crossing. Fantastic every single time. Every single thing that Declan Rice did in that first half was phenomenal, man. So 9 out of 10 for him. Really impressed with that performance from Dec, as always. Fantastic as always. 9 out of 10. So it definitely starts next week. I think he will start in that number 8 position. I think Partey will start next week with Rice and Odegaard. And to complete the midfield, Odegaard once again, fantastic, 8 out of 10. The way Odegaard gives an option to Rice, to Partey, to Zinchenko, to Ben White, he always, like sometimes back in the day, Ozil was really good for us for like 3 seasons. He was great. He could have had like 40 assists in a season if Giroud could score. But Odegaard, but Ozil, there's a couple of times where people would say Ozil was hiding. You remember those days? People would say Ozil is hiding, and not just Ozil, a few other players. Sometimes people would say Aubameyang is not being seen, is hiding, or Lacazette is hiding, or you never say the same about Odegaard. You can never say he's hiding. Odegaard is always coming back to, like, if you don't attack a lot, he will come back to midfield. He'll call for the ball. You always see him asking for the ball. Even if there's no option for him to pass to, he'll just ask for the ball and win us a free kick or something. I love the way he takes charge of the situation. And then when he gets the ball, you're like, oh, there's no one to pass to. And then he just hits a phenomenal through pass to Martinelli. Just fantastic footballer. His corners are great as well. When we get a penalty, we just know if he's the one who's going to take is definitely going to score too. Like, just an incredible player. He has to be there. I wish Vieira could be a good backup for Odegaard. Like if Vieira would be even 70% of what Odegaard is in terms of the pressing and the energy and the creation, it would be in such a good place. But if you remove Odegaard from that team, he probably lose someone in that midfield who wants to take charge and wants to get the ball and put in across. And then he's quick sometimes. There's 2 or 3 times I saw him getting the ball in our own on our own side, and then very quick pass to Saka, and then we're on the break right away. Doesn't dwell on the ball too much. If he does, he's going to get past 2-3 players. The nutmeg, just fantastic footballer. 8 out of 10 for Odegaard today. And doesn't really have to score assist, but he gets an 8 out of 10. Saka today, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He got involved, especially in the first half. He had a couple of chances. One header got saved, another one just went off target. Always kept the defenders busy, but obviously still not the 10 out of 10 Saka that I didn't expect him to be a 10 out of 10 today, though. I'm even surprised that him and Rice are playing this early because, as I've said, the likes of Palmer not yet playing for their teams. But Saka, Fantastic. No, not fantastic. Just okay. It was just an okay performance from Saka. Got a couple of opportunities, maybe created one. 7 out of 10 for him. I'm going to give the same to Martinelli. However much people think that Martinelli was wasting chances today or whatever, the runs are very good. The three runs he made in behind for Havertz and Odegaard were really good. Like he gave them an option in that situation. I was mad at him for not cutting on to his right foot and shooting the ball and decided to try to pass to Declan Rice, and the pass was heavy anyway, and it went out for a goal kick in that situation. You're already 1-0 up, take charge, as I've said, with Odegaard taking charge, just shoot the ball. You see, sometimes Odegaard these days, he gets the ball and just shoots it. Even Rice, when he gets the ball in midfield, he just shoots the ball sometimes outside the box. I need Martinelli to do the same. Like, if he can do that, like Martinelli would be very dangerous because everything else, pace, his pressing, his energy, the way he comes back to defend, defensive work is very good from Martinelli. Even today, he came back to help Zinchenko 2 or 3 times. I was like, this is really good work rate from Martinelli. The runs in behind were great, but in terms of not taking charge of a situation and not shooting the ball and maybe decision making as well wasn't great, I'm just going to give him a 7 out of 10. Havertz as well, 7 out of 10. I think there's one chance he got in the second half. He kind of fluffed it, went off target. But the runs and as well, one of those passes, one of those one-on-one runs from Martinelli, it was a very good pass from Havertz. Once again, just like Odegaard, didn't dwell on the ball, knew exactly what Martinelli was going to do. Quick pass, one-on-one chance. That is what we need to do. Quick football. 7 out of 10 for Havertz. Now, the players who came on in the second half, it's very hard to rate the ones who were on for like 15 minutes. So Jorginho, although Jorginho, he kind of almost like he gave an opportunity to the opponents, like he with the slide tackle, he's tackled too early and he was never going to get that ball anyway. So maybe I would give him a 5 or 6 or something. Trossard wasn't on for too long. Nelson got the ball a couple of times. Lewis Kelly, Kivio, Nwaneri, they weren't on for too long. Calafiori, I would give him, I mean, again, it's very hard to rate Calafiori and Jesus. We in that second half, those last 30 minutes, we basically had stopped playing. We are just like, yeah, ready for the season. Let's just wait for next week. Let's not get any injuries. Let's just play some slow football and let's see how it goes. So it's very tough to rate those players. But Jesus looked lively. He went down with an injury. I was like, oh, please don't get injured again. Calafiori, he played at left back and then he played at centre back. So good to see him being tried out in a couple of those positions. Those players who came on today, Calafiori, Jesus, I don't expect him to start next week against Wolves. I think it's going to be Zinchenko and Trossard will start now. Not Trossard, sorry. I think it's going to be Zinchenko and Havertz who start next week, and then I think Partey is going to start as well instead of Jorginho next week, and I think Trossard is the one who's going to replace Martinelli in that starting lineup. Arteta rating for him, I'm just going to give him an 8 out of 10. We kept a clean sheet, very, very good first half. Second half, we don't need to play with full force. We have a Premier League season starting next week. Now, I'm trying to get the exact quotes from Edu, what he said about transfers as I come back to your comments. Let's see. We need to sign Merino in Gyökeres, says Mish. What a great day and good play by Arsenal. This shows that we are good to go next the Premier League, but to be honest, we still need a striker. Yeah, I agree. Martinelli looks very, says Philip. Hi, Glenn. Can you compare Arsenal's performance without a clinical striker with Man City yesterday, having Haaland in March? Man City, which team they play today? They played United. Now, the thing with Haaland does miss chances. So Haaland is very clinical sometimes, but he gets like 5 chances in a game. He does miss like 3 one-on-ones, but he still ends up giving hard time to the other players. Now, the thing with Haaland, I did hear Man Stefan saying yesterday, if Haaland doesn't score, you don't see him on the pitch. Like in that Community Shield game yesterday, like how many times do you see Haaland? You don't really see him. And I think that is what Atta usually doesn't want. He wants like, even if his striker doesn't get a chance, he wants to hear Havertz was in midfield making a tackle, or Jesus was in the left wing, he made a dribble and crossed the ball or something. It would be great to have all of them, though. Let's have a Jesus, let's have a Havertz, and let's have a striker as well. And then we can compare that to Man City. And we're like, okay, they have Haaland. We also have a player who's close to Haaland. We have Jesus and Havertz. Man City don't have Jesus and Havertz anymore. They've now sold Alvarez. Unless they do sign someone, we need to like go to that next step against them. We need to try and beat them in every single position. Defensively, I think we are a better team than Man City, so that is great. Midfield, if they have Rodri, De Bruyne, and Foden, I think they're slightly better than us. But if they don't have Foden, if they have Kovacic, Rodri, And De Bruyne, I'd be like, yeah, let's go head to head with them with Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. Why not? But where they beat us, obviously, is where they have Haaland, and where they have a very confident Foden who can play numerous positions and come into midfield. And then they also have the pace and the pace of Doku coming off the bench and all that. But as you've seen, we have a better better defense, midfield almost the same. But where they beat us is the Haaland situation. So if you can get a striker, I think we're on par with Man City in terms of the rest of the squad. Yeah, and there's obviously the fact that Guardiola is more experienced as a manager, and players like De Bruyne have been there for 10 years. There's that, but in terms of just quality and all that, why not? So, as I said, for us, if we play without a striker, I still fancy us to beat a lot of teams. But as people have said already in the comments, those tight games where you're only going to get one or two chances, you need to have a clinical striker. And even having a clinical striker there, it also helps the rest of the players. It takes a pressure away from the players, and they're like, okay, we now have a striker. Let's do this and that. So we need Gyökeres in our team, please, says more. We need a natural 9 who can smell goal opportunities and can create goals all by himself in certain games. That's what's missing. That is Gyökeres. That is Gyökeres. Just creating chances for himself and all that. That is definitely Gyökeres. I don't know how we are going to get him. I don't think there's any other striker. Like if we don't get Gyökeres, unless we get surprised and we just get someone, I don't know if there's any striker. Like I'd be happy if they surprise us. Arsenal said we are going to have a penalty shootout today. Didn't see the penalty shootout. So just to finish up, Declan Rice today played 64 minutes. He had 54 touches, 8 touches in the opposition box. He had 5 out of 6 duels won, 3 chances created, 3 tackles, 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, 2 big chances created, 2 assists. This player, man, this guy, man, this guy. And they're still telling us that Declan Rice is overrated because he gave away a corner kick for England. Come on, man. Rice cannot make forward passes, but he creates 3-4 big chances in a game. Okay, that is absolutely fine. Next week is the Premier League. Now, I think we might schedule like a friendly match, another behind closed doors friendly for the likes of Calafiori to play as I look for what the hell Edu said, if I can get this so many updates over here already in terms of the game. But Edu did say something about Arsenal being patient as they look for it. So I'm going to take a couple of comments meanwhile. But happy with the performance. The Liverpool game was poor, but overall in terms of preseason, we played very well against Man United. We were okay against Bournemouth first game. It was tough, obviously, first game of preseason. But the recent ones against Leverkusen and Lyon back at home, it was really good. So this is what Edu said when he was asked, are you going to make any more transfers? He said, be patient. At the end of the transfer window, you're not going to be disappointed. I don't think he would say that. I don't think he would troll us like that if he wasn't going to sign anyone. I don't think he said by the end of the transfer window, you're not going to be disappointed. Let's hope we get Gyökeres and Merino is going to join Arsenal. For sure, he's going to join this week. Now, for the third signing in terms of striker or winger, I don't know what is going to happen this week. There's a couple of players that I don't expect to join now. Nico Williams is going to be very hard. I think Nico Williams is going to stay at Bilbao. The likes of Isaac is not going to happen. Bruno Guimaraes is not going to happen unless he goes to Man City. Defender, I don't think we're going to sign any other defender. Ramsdale leaving, I don't know what is going to happen in that. If you're going to sign another goalkeeper, Paul says so. We need to strengthen the forward positions. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, just a striker. It would be great to have a backup for Saka as well, but I think we're kind of asking for too much. I don't think you're going to get 3-4 more signings. That would be surprising. I don't think Atsa usually likes like 3-4 signings by the time the season has already started. I think you would want like 1 or 2 maybe, because after the first 3 games, you have an international break. So that could help us as well in terms of the ones who are not going to go for international breaks. Mish says Martinelli missed his chances, but hopefully it was because his preseason and he's rusty. Hopefully, because at the end of last season as well, there's like 2 or 3 games, I think against Chelsea and Wolves, he was missing a few chances here and there. But I'll have one more video in terms of transfer news coming up. I appreciate you guys watching. Good win though, very good preseason. Clean sheet today, set pieces. Few players stood out as well. Calafiori made his debut, so it's still a very, very good day. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.